What's up, guys? How you doing? Here we are, Mastermind Motivation Worldwide. Mr. Bo Hawkins and I are back. Bo, how you doing, brother?
Good, guys. How are you? I'm wearing my blue blockers. I'll talk about that later.
Yeah, he's got something interesting to say about these things. It's pretty cool, man. Actually, I'm going to buy a pair now. We were just talking about it before we went live. So very interesting stuff coming up. But today, what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about experiences, okay, and how important they are to all of our lives. We go through life and we always experience different things. But as you'll find out, there's certain things that we believe you should really pay attention to when it comes to experiencing all the different things in life as life happens to you. So that's what we're going to get into today. Like always, guys, if you dig what we're doing, please spread the news. And even more importantly, we'd love to have you subscribe to the channel. That's huge. We're just trying to spread the positive message and what we truly believe works for everyone. And hey, helping each other makes the world a better place. End of story. But we're going to get into this now. We're going to get into experiences. Bo and I have experienced a lot in life, and that's why we do what we do. We truly believe in helping people. But, I guess the best way to put it is the way we can help people is through everything that we've experienced. We've experienced failure. We've experienced success and everything in between. So, when it comes down to it, Bo, how would you explain the difference between experiences in everyday life?
Well, it's the way you look at it. It's how you wake up into the world each day and what you're looking at as your life. And a lot of people choose to focus on the miracles and the holy cow, the odds of actually anything of this existing, and experiencing each moment as it is. And that involves being in the present moment a lot of the time, as opposed to this kind of everyday rut, which 99.999% of people are in. Nothing wrong with it. And if you are in that, you shouldn't feel guilty and, oh, I'm doing it wrong. It's just the way that we're wired. And we get into a rut, we get into a loop, a routine, and it's like today's Sunday. So I know a lot of you guys watching will be like, oh, it's Monday tomorrow, back into that loop. I have to go to bed early to get up. And you're just going through the motions, living in the future of anxiety about what is to come, and kind of it's bigger in your head than it actually is, or kind of panic and fear of what's in the past. You've missed your weekend. It's over already. So that's your kind of everyday life. Now, if you're not having experiences each day, by coming into the moment, you'll never be able to get out of those ruts and to break that kind of link in that chain. So for me, that would be the main difference between having experiences each day, which you can choose. It's your choice. It's not just magic. Sometimes it does literally hit us in the head like a lightning bolt, as opposed to your everyday life. And you can live your everyday life searching for experiences. But Ryan, experiences, if you're choosing to experience them in the world and define you as a person, how do you think they kind of have an impact on you as a person?
Yeah, experiences in you, plain and simple. Experiences, I truly believe, they basically build our identity as a person. Okay, I think, for example, I want to put it really simply in how I just explained that. I bought, where is it? Oh, I don't have it with me. Prop gone. My imaginary iPhone 10. I just bought one. It was an experience. I went on, I bought it. But you know what? I bought an iPhone 3, I bought an iPhone 5, I had a 6S. They're all experiences. Last year in 2017, okay, I was in Moscow, Russia. I went to the Red Square. It was a life-changing experience for me. It was a bucket list place that I've always wanted to be. And I always wanted to see it. I wanted to get my picture in front of the famous landmarks and all that stuff. How that changes me and how it becomes part of my identity is I love to travel. Everyone buys a mobile phone every year or every 2 years or whatever it is. But does everyone get to truly enjoy traveling and going to Moscow or the Red Square or anything like that? All my life, I love traveling. When my parents told me we're going to Disneyland, I got so excited. Not just because it's Disneyland, but honestly, even as a kid, I wanted to experience what it was like camping in California. We camped it all the way down. Those experiences, they built who I was. It became a part of my personality, my identity as a person. And a great example beyond this, and this is why I truly believe in this, is my parents always told me at a young age, experiences are one of the most important things that will ever happen to you. Make sure you pay attention to them. So like, you know, when I was growing up and I went band school for the competitions, and I got so excited, I took it all in. You know, never been to Victoria, BC before, and I got to see the Parliament buildings. Like, I look forward to that, and that built me. When I went on the first band tour I ever did, it was in a van and it broke down like 5 times. It sucked. It was horrible. But you know what? That experience, it built my character, built me as a person. It's what I wanted to do for a living, all the way up until Devin Townsend Band, the band, not the project. I went on my first tour with that. Again, another experience, this time across all of America. And again, broke down, all that stuff, right up until the last, 10 years when I'm doing it in awesome tour buses across the world. All these experiences built Ryan Van Poederoyen. It built this person. And I think it's really important for you to pay attention to all these things. We're going to have our everyday life experiences, but what's going to define you? What's going to be your identity? I think these are the things that you really need to pay attention to. But going beyond that, Bo, here's the thing that I know Bo has some great stuff to talk about here. When it comes to experience, how does experiences lead to new opportunities?
Well, tying just back into what you said there, you're right. And most people look back on their experiences and it's looking back. And there's a great, something I learned a long time ago is, why wait to laugh at something when you can just laugh now? And again, that's going back into the present moment. And I think a little secret that if you look at the greatest in the world at everything they're doing, they realize they're in the experience in that very moment, therefore can steer the ship. Now, that tying into new opportunities and how that can change things for you. Whenever you how many times have you had to ask your boss for something, or you're going to ask a girl out or a guy or whatever it is? Next thing, the world just comes kind of like a vignette straight into you. And you got tunnel vision. And you're like, this is what I need to do. Well, if you actually go in the future and look back on it, you'll be looking at that experience you had. However, if you can realize that, okay, I'm in this experience now. Wow, this is actually magical. I feel alive. One thing that I learned from Mel Robbins was a lot of us get anxiety. We feel anxious and we feel kind of nerves and whatnot. It's the exact same neurological patterning as excitement. And if you can just breathe for 1 second and tell yourself, in this very moment, whatever is happening, instead of me being nervous, this is actually excitement. It's a completely different interpretation through your brain. Therefore, your outcome will be completely different. Therefore, how you deal with someone is going to be very different if you deal with them excited as opposed to anxious and scared, because people can sense that. It's like when I first met Ryan and I said, hey, I want to stay and hang out with you and watch the sound check. Doing that from a place of excitement was a much different done it. Oh my God, I'm asking this. I'm not worthy. I can't do this. So having the experience, realizing you're in the experience, this is only for kind of major experiences. We can get to the rest later, but it's that real interesting thing of going, okay, I'm in it now. And wow, because I'm in the present moment, the future has not been determined. I can change the course of my entire life. And I know we've said it before, but I'll just kind of repetition, mother of skill, hammering it home. By me getting in the experience and talking to Ryan in Nottingham, it led to going around the world and doing 4-minute master seminars with him. It led to doing these live feeds, and it's other things that we've not even spoken about. So that's what the power of being in an experience in the right way can do in that very moment. It's very powerful. So not only that, I think the more you do it, it can build confidence. And Ryan, I'd just like to hear from you how you can kind of translate experiences into a confidence and a kind of person determining thing.
Exactly. So, okay, this is a big thing. Experiences are going to happen to you. You're going to get one of two things. You're going to get good experiences. You're going to get bad experiences. Yeah, you can say, oh, there's all in between and shades of gray, whatever. Let's cut the bullshit. There's good or there's bad ones, okay? Here's the beautiful thing. You're going to learn from both. But from learning from both, you gain that confidence, because if something bad happens, you can break it down, deduce it, and you can figure out what the problem was, and you can be better for the next time that it happens. Okay. If something great happens, don't just go, oh, that's awesome, it worked, and you move on. It's an experience. How can you still learn from that? How can you deduce it and find out why and how it worked? Okay. All these things build your confidence through experiences. Now, I'm always a big fan of examples. You guys know that through the live feeds. You know that on the page. I know Bo's the same way. A perfect example of how experience gave me confidence was when I went through my massive health struggle. When I gained 45 pounds of weight, what do you think that did? Do you think that made me a more confident person? Hell no, man. I hit rock bottom as far as feeling good, as far as confidence. I was still in the Devin Townsend band and touring the world. My confidence shot way down because of these problems. You know, because of the weight gain, I didn't feel good. Playing drums as well, and setting goals wasn't as outgoing as I usually am. I got to the bottom of it. I fixed everything. That was an experience, and it was not a good experience. But the key is I learned from it, exactly what I just talked about. Okay, I changed it. I made myself better. Next thing you know, fast forward, I lose all that weight. 45 pounds, I'm in the best shape of my life. Okay, and I've kept it off 9 years now. Okay, the confidence that it built for me to change that thing around in my mid-30s and be in the best shape of my life in my 40s was amazing. One of the biggest confidence boosts I have. My career, it started taking off. Everything else followed. And you know what? That's what you need to look at. Don't look at just the good experiences. You need to build your confidence through the good and bad. And it's all about deducing, guys. Look at the experiences in your life. Write down those experiences, ones that have happened. And if you haven't deduced it, do it. Just go back to it. And you can figure out so much through those experiences that can help you now, today. And that's the most important thing. That's what you need to move forward with, is you need to have that confidence built through all the experiences that you've had throughout your life. So moving on here, let's get into our own experiences, Bo. Okay. Let's name an experience and how it changed our lives, and basically how everyone else can learn from it. And we're going to start with Bo.
For me, Ryan knows my story. Most of you won't, but it was 18th of December 2009. I went from having what I thought everything I wanted in the world. I lived in New York. I lived in Ireland. I was in a band that was kind of rising up. We had everything. We could do anything. No fear. I had everyone around me I would call friends. And from the outside, it looked like this was the most amazing life. And then on that very night, everything changed. And we became, the family got disbanded. We became I became homeless overnight, lost everything. I was alienated by a lot of friends. I was told I was worth nothing. I was worse than dog shit kind of thing. And I had zero experience of what I would call the real world. So I was thrown into this gauntlet of hell, and realized, wow, okay, my life as I knew it is dead, and I have a choice now. I can either I'm in hell, so to say, and I can either let these fires temper me into something stronger, or I can let them burn me alive. And it was my choice in that experience to be like, I'm going to become something greater from this, and to take it and to teach as many people as I can that you can be in the darkest, deepest places of your mind, and not only that, in the world, that you just think it's all over and you can get out. And what that led to was me, over the course of a few years, designing and learning how we work as people, how we are by default, and that nearly everything is fixable to a point where you can aim towards the light. So my mission, and I call it a mission. I know it sounds religious and preachy and all that shit, but it's not. It's my sense of being, and that experience of losing everything, not even being, I remember I told Ryan before, I got a welfare check and I went to pay for my groceries in the store with the welfare check, and they just laughed at me. And their exact words were, you need to put this in the bank. And I said, oh, the bank's closed. And they go, where do you bank? I was like, in the bank. They're like, yeah, who's your bank? I was like, the building. I don't know what you're asking me. That's how fucking naive I was. But from that and kind of the depths of depression and moving out, the mission came, I will never let a soul that I touch in my life ever feel that bad again. And that's where things evolved. Eventually 4-Minute Masters came along. Then eventually I met Ryan. Then eventually Mastermind Motivation comes along. And what we're creating now has been led from that point. And I would say the greatest experience of my life, I've been asked many times by press and all that, if I could go back in time, into a time machine, just before it happened, and I could stop it, would I? I wouldn't. For all the pain it caused me, it turned me gray overnight. Like, this isn't a style choice. But I wouldn't change it, because already I'm seeing the people I'm helping, not through just this channel, but everything I do in my life, I'm looking to assist people so they don't ever feel that darkness. Yes, I know I'm not going to get 100% record, but fuck, I'm going to do my best. So that would be my experience that changed my life. And for you guys, what I want you to learn from that is, no matter how bad things get or you think they are, please talk to someone and reach out to someone else. And if the first person you go to doesn't listen, don't give up. Find the second person. Eventually, someone's going to listen to you and assist you. So what about you, Ryan?
That was an awesome example, by the way, Bo. Good job, man. See, we can all learn something here. And I know Bo's life story because we've talked about it and the details and stuff. And, you know, I'm still learning new things here too, right? So that's a great example of what we're talking about, guys. For me, it's pretty obvious that most people are going to expect this answer, but it goes way back into my teens, which maybe people wouldn't expect. And that's my first pro gig as an amateur, not as a professional, but as an amateur. I was 15 years old, and I played my first pro gig at this banquet, okay, in Port Alberni at the Italian Center, it's called. And, you know, there's a good 400 or 500 people there. And I shit my pants because I'm up on stage in front of all these people. I'm about to play this gig. I'm a 15-year-old kid playing with a bunch of 20, you know, 25-year-old guys. And we get up there and we do it. But I remember my dad saying to me, hey, man, go up there and enjoy the hell of it, out of it, and just live it. Take as much happiness as you can out of the experience. And I never forgot that. I was nervous, yes, but I got up there and I absolutely kicked some ass. You know, from that experience, it drove me. I knew what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. I knew at 12 years old that I wanted to do that, but now I experienced the first time playing in front of a crowd that big. And all it did was drive me. It made me want to get to Vancouver as soon as possible to start my career. And as soon as I graduated, I was on the next ferry over from Vancouver Island to Vancouver to start the dream that I'm living now. Okay. And then, you know, fast forward to my first professional gig with Devin Townsend was at Prague Power USA in 2002. And I remember the curtains opening in front of 2,000, 3,000 people, sold out. And I just looked up at the light rafters and I'm like, here I am from the Italian Center on Vancouver Island to Atlanta, Georgia. And I'm doing this for real, you know, and it hit me. What is the lesson, though, to be learned from all this is don't take experiences for granted. Look at every single one in your life, guys. Like I said, you're going to run into good and bad ones. You need to pay attention to these things. Yes, they can build your confidence. You can figure out how to get out of that daily rut like Bo was talking about. All the things we talked about. You need to pay attention to these experiences and you need to learn from them, okay? As I was growing up, I had a really positive family to back me up, but there's another piece of advice that my dad and my mother gave me that I'm forever grateful for is to pay attention to that and to look for those good things. If the bad things happen, learn from them, but never, ever take experiences for granted. That plays into 100% responsibility, guys. It's up to you, okay? Situations are going to happen to you. How you react to them is absolutely everything, okay? Your next decision after something happens to you, whether it's good or bad, is always going to be up to you, okay? And that will turn in to what your experience is. And whether it's good or bad, don't take them for granted. And that's a lesson to be learned. I follow that rule every single day, and I'm always looking for the best in every day. So there it is. Bo, are there any questions before we move on to the 100% responsibility exercise from people watching or anything?
Oh, we got nothing. We got Core Alone one. Every experience shapes and changes us. It helps us to be able to consistently identify those things as they're occurring. It's part of being present and self-aware. Well, yeah, we spoke about that. That's very true. That awareness of being in the present moment. So you can look into the teachings of like Eckhart Tolle or Steve Taylor that really grounds that into it. But guys, one thing I have realized about the channel, and if you are watching this on a device or your camera, the live chat appears in different places. Like right now, I'm on, I use Chrome, and it's on the right side of my browser. But if you can't see the chat and you want to say something, just scroll around the page. I think on your phone, it's near the bottom. You got to scroll to the bottom. It says live chat. So that's easier for you guys. If you want to interact with us, you don't have to ask a question. You can just say hi, like, hi, I'm Julie. That's easier. It is. We'll call you Julie. I probably offended you with my Core Alone one. It was probably pronounced something else. But guys, that's just one thing I've got feedback from, not just this, but my own channel. People going, oh, I wanted to ask you a question, but I couldn't find it. So just have a look around the browser while you do that. While you're searching, just to buy you a little time before we go into our 100% responsibility exercise, I'll explain my glasses.
Yes.
I recently bought these. I get up stupidly early, and I'm finding it hard. No matter, although I eat really well, I work out every day. I'm doing the best I can. I get to bed early. I limit my time in front of screens and TVs and all that. I still found that I wasn't getting optimum. I never felt completely 100% rested. So recently I found out about blue blockers and how they've advanced over the years. So these ones, I got them on Amazon. They block out the blue lights that come out of TVs and stuff to stop, to help your brain start producing melatonin. And the research into it is quite phenomenal. If you have even a slight bit of blue light exposure before bed, you can produce zero melatonin, which will not allow you to get into deep REM sleep, which means you can't regenerate, which means you're going to wake up as tired as you were, and your brain actually hasn't had a day off. It can lead to anxiety, depression, and just frustration. And a lot of these things I found in my life. I've been using these for a few days now, and the difference is, excuse the pun, night and day. So bad. So if you're having if you're using the computers a lot and whatnot, I'd recommend getting them. For me, I put them on at 7 p.m. each night, and that's it until I go to bed. Someone asked me recently, do I go to sleep in them? No, my eyes are closed.
I'm surprised that question was actually asked, but it's interesting, guys. The other thing too is my iPhone, my new iPhone 10, it actually has something where at a point it asks you if you want to turn the phone like brightness and stuff to this lower setting. It's a nighttime setting, and when it goes to that nighttime setting, it's like those glasses that Bo's wearing. It basically helps protect your eyes from exactly what Bo was talking about. So it's interesting that even
come back. Crash.
Even iPhone 10 now has a setting where it'll help with your eyes, but and at nighttime it just sets it to that setting automatically. It tells when it's nighttime, and bam, there it is, and it's easier on your eyes. But if you want the ultimate help and experience, I get a pair of those glasses that Bo's talking about, because that's probably what I'm going to do. I could always use an extra couple hours of deep sleep over what I already have. So yeah, that's good advice there, guys. So let's get on to it. Bo, what's the exercise? 100% responsibility exercise this week.
So this week's again, every week we're going to give you guys 100% responsibility exercise. So what we want you guys to do this week is set aside time every week to seek out an experience that is outside your norm, that is going to shape you, that's going to change you, something that's, I dare say, outside your comfort zone. So if there's something, and normally the great thing, if you're afraid of it, you should, that's probably the doors you should be opening in your mind. So find something each week that is out of your loop, out of your routine, because we want to get out of that daily rut and start kind of building confidence, building new experiences, because it'll get addictive once you start doing it. Find an experience, log it, plan it as well. Sometimes though, the experience might be right there in front of you. Say there's the CEO of your company and you're down the hall and you're like, look, I know I can double the profits of this company. I just need to be heard. And then you see the guy. Your experience in that moment could be getting into that moment and bam, just going to the guy and talking honestly. And Ryan and I are very big on this, speak your truth. So whatever you're doing, make sure as well it feels honest in you. You want it to be a bit scary and you want something that's going to start shaping you. So not only do you want to live and experience that thing in the moment, you want to be able to do it in the future and look back as well. So this week, what we want you to do is really look into getting into an experience that's going to start changing your life. And it's, again, it ties into everything we've spoken about already. It's going to change who you are. It's going to create new opportunities. It's going to build confidence. And not only that, it might be something that you can teach and share with other people from your experiences of it. Because you know what? One of the most attractive qualities in someone is someone who inspires. If you meet someone who's inspirational, you're just drawn to them because you feel that they're giving you something that you can't get anywhere else. I know when I meet people like Ryan and some of my really close friends, you feel like a spiritual recharge and you kind of leave them feeling like you've had a cable attached to you and you've charged up to 100%. So by you going out and doing something different from the rest of your week, that's going to change it up. It could be something that inspires other people. And you know what? It could be as simple as going, I'm going to call that person. It's going to be scary. I'm putting it off, but it's going to change it. And I'm going to remember that was the time. Similar to the time I asked Ryan that I'm going to stay for the sound check. So guys, I just find it and push your barriers a bit. And then each week, just push it a little further. Like we've had so many great 100% responsibility exercises. And again, this is all on you. We're not going to check your homework. Only you can. But the cool thing is, if you do it and it's amazing, you get to come back and tell us, holy shit, look what I did.
That's exactly it. And to add to that, if you do this once a week for the rest of your life, okay, I don't care if you're 80 years old, you should still be doing this. Once it becomes a habit, it, like Bo said, it builds that confidence, but then you'll shoot for anything. When you build that confidence, like Bo asking to hang out for the sound check and look at where it's led now, it's like, months and months later, we've developed so many things. We've flown Bo all the way over from England to do a seminar with Sagi Kalev from Body Beast and myself in Houston. Like we've accomplished a lot, seminars all over the world, you name it. But it builds that confidence for you to do even more. There's no limits in life. What's the motto? Become the possible. And the more experiences you have, the more confidence you gain from them, the more you're going to become the possible. End of story. And that's how it works. That's how it's worked for me my entire life. And I know that's how it's worked for Bo. And if you look at anyone from, Brad Pitt to James Hetfield to whoever, it doesn't matter. It's worked the same way. It's not like this is anything new. But are you going to make it a habit or not? That's the big question. Make it a habit. As soon as it becomes a habit, you don't even think about it, and you'll just be looking for those experiences, not just every week, but every single day. And that's how it truly works. So that's my 2 cents on it to add to what Bo said. And it's a great exercise, and you guys need to follow through on it. Bo, any last words? Anything you'd like to say?
Guys, just as usual, please like and subscribe to this channel. Share any content that you like. And we just love hearing your feedback, what you like, what you don't like, anything that can help us help you. That's all we're kind of trying to do with this. We want to give you guys the best possible content. And in a kind of roundabout way, it's our experiences of what we've been through life combined that we bring to you to help you live the life of your dreams and you to become the possible. So from me, I'm just going to say good night. Get your blue blockers on.
That's awesome. And thanks, guys. Bo said it all there with the subscribing and all that. But to add to that, just thank you. You know what? This is the beginning of something great. And we do these live feeds as if we're talking in front of 100,000 people. And even if only 10 show up or 50 or 100, it doesn't matter. We're always going to deliver it the same. Nothing will change. this is us, this is who we are, this is what we believe, and this is what we want to share with the rest of the world to make a difference. You know what I mean? To help people live the life that they want to live. That's all. That's it. Do what you love what you do as much as you possibly can. So thank you once again for tuning in. We really appreciate it. We will be back next Friday. Honestly, we're so sorry that it wasn't this last Friday that we did it, but the last couple of weeks have been very interesting for both of us, actually, and scheduling conflicts just didn't make it possible for it to happen. So next Friday we'll be back at our time. And you know what? Always stay posted on our social media, because we'll announce the times that's going to happen. Sometimes we've done it at Pacific time, which is, I believe, 10 p.m. And it worked great for other people. Today we did it at 11. So we're trying to accommodate everyone. Social media for all that info. That's it for this week, guys. Have an awesome week, and all the best to you.